Hi, it's Des Futak here. I'm just going to give you a mini training session on something that I feel quite passionate about, and it's something that's really helped me in my business. And that is the whole area of communication, which is why I've directed you to this website. How to Talk to Humans was a product that I nearly launched around a year ago with a great friend of mine called Tony Cole. Now, I'm going to talk to you more about that at the end of this video, but before I do, I want to take you through 3 really essential tips that I think make a massive difference in communication. Now, I've done a lot of online stuff. I've done a lot of product reviews on the internet. I've sold things on the internet, and video for me has been a really key part of that. But beyond that still, because I do a lot of offline work now, beyond that, the ability to communicate very clearly what you believe and what you want to say, to get your message across clearly and concisely, is a skill that you can learn. Now, I used to be a teacher. I was a teacher for 17 years, and that was fantastic training ground for what I'm about to share with you. Now, I haven't done any rehearsal for this whatsoever, and that's because I've been doing this for 17 years. However, I'm going to show you 3 simple tips that you can do to increase the chance of you being able to communicate effectively and clearly with your audience, whether it's in front of a video camera like I'm doing right now, or live in a presentation setting or in a networking group setting, which is what I've been doing recently. So here we go. Here are the 3 essential tips that I think really make a difference when you're trying to communicate with people. Tip number 1, and it's something very good old-fashioned and important that I think people don't actually do enough. And I don't know if you can see that very clearly from that distance where you are, but it says the word practice. Perhaps I should write practice, 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 practice. I don't know if you know a guy called Malcolm Gladwell. He wrote a book a few years back whose title I've forgotten now. I'm sure you can remember it. And it was called Outliers. And in that he talks about the necessity for really getting to become an expert, to get to that stage where you need to have a certain number of hours. Now, he estimated around 10,000 hours. I'm sure he kind of just plucked that out in midair. But really what he's getting at is you need to go round and round and round and iterate round until you get to something that's of high quality. Now, if you're American or English, you probably know of a band called the Beatles in the 1960s. They were a very popular pop band, and from Liverpool, and they became famous because of the quality of their music. Now, I don't know if you know this, but they went to Berlin for about 18 months and they played in every bar, every night for 18 months solid. So they got their 10,000 hours by just going round and round, practicing and practicing and practicing, until they got to that stage where they were better than anybody else. Now, obviously, if you've got a... let's get real here for a second. If you've got something you're going to be speaking about tomorrow, alright, let's say you're going to a networking group or you're about to stand up in front of people and you've never done this before, or even if you're a seasoned speaker, then you haven't got 10,000 hours. Maybe you've got a concerted 1 hour length of time to be able to practice what you want to do. So, I'm going to show you 2 more tips to help you short circuit the 10,000 hours required to get your stars or your stripes, okay? And these 2 other things are also very simple, but I think they make a big difference. And the second one I'm going to talk to you about is something that I'm doing right now, is if you can video yourself, okay, if you can stand in front of a camera and actually watch yourself. It's a very uncomfortable experience, I know. It was certainly very uncomfortable the first time I did it. If you go onto my YouTube channel, scroll right back in the history, you can see my first ever video and see how things have progressed in the last 3 years that I've been doing stuff online with video. But if you can video yourself, that will really help you, because what it does is it enables you to see yourself as other people see you. And that's something that you can, you're probably your worst critic or your best critic, depending on which way you put it. So if you video yourself, you can analyse what you're doing wrong and make an attempt to improve it. Now, I was with a guy the other day who is he's one of the UK judo team, and I did 3 videos with him, and they were totaling about 5 minutes in length. But we took 90 minutes. We took an hour and a half to do those videos because I just gave him the chance to stand in front of the camera and do it over and over and over and over again, until by the end of that 90-minute session, the 3 videos he had, he was very happy with. And to start off with, he was very nervous on camera because it's not something he's done before. And if you haven't done a lot of presentation, or you haven't stood up in front of a camera like I'm doing right now, then the best way to do it is just to do it. And in a sense, a video camera is a great friend of yours, because it's not going to criticise you, it's not going to shuffle in its feet or, start kind of like looking down its watch. You're going to see how you come across when you're in front of other people. So a simple little tip. The third tip, which I think is probably actually the most important, and it's one that you can only get by doing the first two lots and lots, is body language. You know, I don't know if you probably know the statistic that only something like, I don't know, 8%, that says body language by the way, only 8% of what you say actually contributes towards your communication. I don't know what the number is, maybe over 60% is the visual side of things, the body language. So you can see the way I'm moving my hands, the way I'm holding the pen, the gestures that I'm using all contribute to whether or not I'm somebody who carries any authority in your eyes on the subject that I'm talking about right now. And again, you can only get that by doing it. So all these three things, they're really kind of like a spiral upwards. The more you do it, and the more you accelerate number one by doing 2 and 3, and watching your body language, asking for feedback, going onto YouTube and just finding out what other people say about body language, then you're going to really increase the speed with which you get to that point where you really feel competent and confident in front of your audience. Now, one thing I haven't said is number 4, the silent one, and that is, do you really know what you're talking about? And that's really something that is a big subject, and obviously I can't cover that because I don't know what your area of expertise is. But the first 3 are really foundational, I think, to accelerate your progress and your ability to communicate. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you someone who has actually done this full-time. He's actually been a voiceover actor, he's even done commercials in the States. A guy called Joe Rodriguez, I say that better in Spanish, and Joe has actually produced a product which looks at the whole area of acting, which is kind of what I'm doing right now, and how to be your authentic self in camera or in front of other people. And it's a product which he's launching, I think probably around today actually, and that product really goes through step by step lots more than what I'm talking about right now in terms of your ability to communicate with people. And this product, called Acting for Internet Marketers, appropriate name, he's actually done several things. The first thing he's done is a 26-page book, a guide, and I'm going to show you in a second my flick through. I've actually read it last night and I was very, very impressed with it. It's got everything you need to know about how to communicate. Now, he puts it in the context of acting, but we can equally apply that to communication. So what I want you to do is have a look at the review that I'm going to show you right now as a screencast, and then I'll come back here, wrap up, and tell you a little bit more about how to talk to humans and why you should grab it from me. So I'll be with you in a second.
Okay, so I'm going to take a brief look at Joe Rodriguez's product called Acting 101 for Internet and Marketers. It consists of 2 things. One, as I said to you earlier, is the 26-page document, which is an Adobe PDF document, and then the videos. So let me just show you the PDF document for a second. What I like about this is obviously he knows his stuff, and I'm not going to obviously go through the whole document because then you'd be able to read it all. But you know, really what he does is he deals with absolutely everything that you could, you know, want to use video for in particular. But everything that he mentions in this, and also in the actual videos I'll briefly describe to you in a second, can be applied to any form of communication. It doesn't just have to be in front of a video camera. It can be whenever you've actually got in front a situation where you're going to be talking in front of people. And then he deals with the various situations that people encounter: the fear issue, self-image, perfectionism, how to get to Carnegie Hall. And then he, you know, in the context of video, if you're going to do some video production work, then he just gives you some recommendations to follow through, which I found really, really useful. And then he looks at, you know, various other products that you can edit your equipment with, and so on. And then he's got a great link to a number of different resources at the end, which I found very useful. So it's a jam-packed document. This is completely written by him. This is not a you know, private label rights or white label document. You can tell it's Joe's voice. It's got his humour in there. It's got his content, and obviously his years of experience as an actor. And as if that's not enough, there are also some videos as well, which I shall briefly show you the contents, not the contents of them, but actually the main topics. Now, these I found very, very useful. He looks at some things that I think are very, very important, such as dealing with fear and the key thing about repetition, relaxation, and specificity. And he also then, you know, gives you a kind of a preview about what he's going to do. And then these 3 lessons are really fascinating, completely new material for me, and it looks at different acting methods and acting schools of thought, and all of them I found very helpful. And I think for me, I probably identify more than anything else with lesson 3, as I mentioned to you in the video a second ago, which is to do with spontaneity and improvisation, which is probably my speciality, and that's just how it rolled. I never knew about this as an acting method, but that's definitely something where I really excel. And the other two are definitely news to me as well. So there's a lot of really good stuff in there about how to communicate and how to present yourself, which I think is really useful in a much wider context than just acting for the purposes of producing an internet marketing training product. Although that's what the product itself is labelled as, I think there's some really great tips on here if you want to do any work where you're going to be in front of a camera, videoing yourself, or if you're going to be standing up in front of people and actually talking live. So I'm just going to round up in a second by you can go back to me on the whiteboard behind me, and I'll round up the video.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that review of Joe's product. It's something that I'm going to really take hold of. I love the fact that he talks about the different types of acting methodology, the acting schools, if you like, the schools of thought, which really guide people. Now, for me, foremost, I'm a person who uses imagination and spontaneity. So if I come from a certain school of thought, that's where I come from, and that's something I absolutely relish in. And when I first started teaching, that was the method that I decided to adopt, that I was never ever going to teach a lesson from notes. I forced myself to improvise from the word go. So you can, in a sense, you can say, well, my 17 years of being a high school teacher were really 17 years of improvisation and spontaneity. Now, I'm going to talk to you more about this over a period of time. I'm going to offer you some webinars if you get Joe's product through this link, but I'm only going to do this for about 5 days, and I'm going to remove this bonus. And the other bonus I'm going to include is a copy of this CD. Now, I'm going to get it to you in digital format, so you can just download it from the members area. This is actually called How to Talk to Humans, and it was a product that Tony, Cole and myself never launched, and we never launched it because we just got too busy with other things and other priorities got in the way. But I turned this into a physical CD. But if you get Joe's product through my link below, then I'm going to give you a digital version of this, an MP3 download, and the transcript. It's actually 60 minutes of conversation between Tony, Cole and myself, and really it's looking at how to conquer nerves, does structure matter, how important is delivery, if you have a horrible voice, does it matter, what do you need to know about body language, who should take this kind of training, what about dress code, and what about talking to the media. So it really covers an A to Z, or A to Z if you're in the United Kingdom, of communication. So you're going to get this free, which is around, I would sell this around $17 or $18 as a physical product. You're going to get it free if you buy it through my link below and get access to Joe's product. And what should happen is when you bought the product, you'll get a link to automatically register to the membership site that you're seeing this video on right now. So if you're someone who has not yet really mastered the art of communication, and you're really struggling to think, how can I move forward easily and successfully, then obviously Joe, with his training on acting and internet marketing, is something that you could really benefit from. And combined with that, I'm going to give you a copy of this transcript, this audio transcript, and the actual MP3 file. And along with that, I'm going to offer a bonus webinar for anyone who buys through my link. And I'll be holding that in the next week. I'm going to book that ahead of time, so I'll send you the link to that as soon as you purchase through Joe's link. And I'll be taking you some of the kind of insider tips, if you like, of my experience as a communicator and a teacher. And I wish you every success with whatever you're doing in the field of communication. Because at the end of the day, all business is about people communicating to one another. And it's really an important part of life, whether or not you're in business or whether or not you're just a parent like I am. So communication is really key. How to Talk to Humans is something that's really helped me in my conversations with Tony. Combine that with Joe's course, and I think you've got a really powerful trifecta of different approaches to how to communicate with people. And I wish you every success. So click the link below right now, and buy Joe's product. Chew it, absorb it, do it, and you're getting a chance to get hold of Tony's product as well, and you're going to get a bonus webinar from me. So I wish you every success. So click the link right below now and get started. Aha, I'm still here. Click the link below and get started right now. Otherwise, I'm going to start doing funny voices. I want you to click the link below, huh? What are you waiting for? I'm not gonna do these stupid voiceovers for you, huh? What is your problem? You don't like deciding? I don't know, are you just waiting for me to do something irrational or predictably irrational perhaps? I don't know, but I'm not going to do it anymore because I think the French accent is a bit, you know, irrational. Peut-être, perhaps not, I don't know. Well, I just think you've had enough of me now. I mean, you just gotta click that link right below right now and start getting on board with this communication course from Joe Rodriguez and Des Budak and Tony Cole. We're gonna help you really break through that communication barrier that you have when standing in front of people and you got sweaty brow and you know, palpating hard and your hands are just shaking uncontrollably. Don't do what I'm doing right now because you'll really put everybody off and they'll never buy anything through your link, you know, it'd just be a disaster. Well, you have had everything from the other players in this team and I highly recommend that you listen to what Des Budak is telling you because he understands what it means to communicate. He has been doing this for a long time and you know, maybe he can help you to break forward with your communication. You never know, it might be possible. So I say, что такое, до свидания, как дела, and I see you soon. I think the most important thing about communication is clarity. You know, you have to know exactly what it is you're talking about, and I would say the practice element is actually extremely important. On the video as well, like I'm doing now, yeah, this is Hans if you want to know, and the body language, you know, how kind of like, are you kind of nervous and jittery, or are you kind of confident and flowing? And Joe will tell you more information about that in his course. You know, you can practice some simple relaxation strategies to help you, you know, get more confident in front of talking to people or on camera if you're selling product on the internet. You know, it's good stuff. So, you know, I say, you know, auf Wiedersehen and hello. Yes, well, I think it's Charles here, by the way. I think you've probably had enough from all the others now to make your decisions. So buy this product from Joe. He's a top guy. I love his hat and his kind of goatee beard. It's jolly top notch, in my opinion. Plus, you get an opportunity to see his Doritos advert he did, which is very surprising, I have to say. And he didn't have a hat on there. So do buy it. I think it's excellent quality, and you know, you never know, you might end up like me. Perish the thought. This is just Jimmy here. I want to recommend this to you, because you know, if you can stand in front of a camera, in front of people, and communicate clearly, like I'm doing now, then it's just the sky's the limit. I mean, maybe not the sky, maybe the moon, or Jupiter, or something like that, you know. So get hold of Joe's product now, and get on board with you know, acting for internet marketers. You don't have to talk in a stupid voice like this. Actually, it's not stupid, it's a very nice voice, that's why I do it. But, you know, it'd be great for you. It'd be really great to get on board, and I wish you every success, and as I say, I'll see you on the inside. Not the inside of a prison, mind, you know, I just mean inside of the membership area of Joe's product. And don't forget the webinar that Des is going to do, and I'll clean up all the specs, it's a bit disgusting. Alright, I'll see you later. Okay, I hope that's been really useful for you, and just gotta practice, you know, you gotta keep the practicing going, and doing the video stuff, it's great, you know, and body language, I mean, you know, I'm so relaxed right now, you can kind of tell, because I'm not jittery at all. Okay, bye Joe stuff, and I'm gonna go now. I gotta pop to the water closet, okay? Gotta go powder my nose and stuff, and whatever other euphemisms are kind of appropriate for this video, okay? I'll see you later, bye.